2 days left until SpaceX launches Starship Flight 10. What can we expect from Sunday's test flight? Can Block 2 finally claim success? Why are people already talking about Flight 11? A Chinese moon lander takes flight, an AI doctor is getting ready to help, and a small satellite demonstrates a revolutionary approach to three-dimensional orientation. My name is Felix, welcome to What About It? Let's dive right in. Starship Updates. Before we talk about the upcoming Flight 10, we need to talk Starship Flight 11. That's right, but what about it? We have some news. After 3 consecutive cryogenic proof tests on the 30th, Ship 38, the one slated for Flight 11, was rolled back to the production site early in the morning on the 1st, where it jumped right into the pre-static fire preparations. Yep. Initially, it was lifted onto the back center stand of Mega Bay 2, where the brand new Starlink loader box was likely tested. Just 2 days later, it was lifted to the back left stand, where we've been able to track some of the work with livestream cameras. I cannot wait until this is actually used for payload. Footage from the 8th shows Ship 38 with no flaps. But what we really care about is the aft section. Since Ship 38 just got done with its cryogenic proof tests, it has not yet received its engines. That was until now. Later in the day on the 14th, we saw Raptors move towards Mega Bay 2. These are not for Ship 37, right? Right. As one would expect, ships get engines installed just after they are done with their cryogenic proof testing. Right on time for Ship 38. We currently expect this ship to roll out shortly after Booster 15 or 17 static fires post-Flight 10. Since SpaceX won't catch Booster 16 on Starship Flight 10, that one is out of the race for reuse. The construction never stops at Starbase, and Pad 2 is demonstrating that perfectly right now. On the 15th, Richard Gallagher, one of our photographers at Starbase, took many pictures of the base of Pad 2's gantry, showing that a new set of cladding is now being installed. It is solid steel. Why install cladding in this place? Excellent question. With over 16 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, Super Heavy puts massive amounts of stress on the launch mount and surrounding areas. Musk once called it the largest blowtorch ever built, and there is truth to that. With this in mind, SpaceX takes extra precautions to keep the launch infrastructure safe. Like the shields on OLM-1 and cladding on both of the towers, the gantry is no exception. This gantry is home to most of the Pad 2 infrastructure and is a necessity to each and every launch. With new cladding being installed on it, we can only assume that work will be coming to a close for some initial pad testing, hopefully soon. Booster 18, you have business to conduct. As if Starbase was not enough, LC-39A has seen some activity as well. With a flame bucket and walls ready, we need a flame trench. And SpaceX workers are finally making it happen. Yes! Early in the morning on the 16th, Alex with NASA Spaceflight posted a time-lapse showing that the main concrete pour is now underway at Florida's Pad 39A. After this comes the curing process, which takes some time. Then SpaceX will be able to flesh it out in the same way as they did with Pad 2 at Starbase. So far, the 39A Starship pad looks like a copy of what Starbase has been building for some time now. We expect this pad to become even more active later this year and eventually start launching Starships toward the beginning of 2026. A lot of work is left to do, including production capabilities at Roberts Road. Starship will be almost impossible to transport on roads like SpaceX does with Falcon 9 boosters and upper stages. So production will need to happen at Kennedy Space Center in a similar way to what's happening at Starbase. The entire Starship program will have at least doubled in size within the next year. Granted, it's been doing that for 6 years straight now. And Flight 10 is a milestone that is just days away now. All things considered, SpaceX is on a fantastic pace. So then, what are we still waiting for? What needs to be done until we can see Flight 10? Not a lot. Let's go through a checklist. First point, Ship 37 static fire and spin prime. That happened on July 31st, August 1st, and a spin prime on the 13th. Check. OLMD mod, done several times and check. Booster 16 FTS and rollout, August 21st. Booster 16 rolled down Highway 4 from the rocket garden to the pad, check. Booster 16 lift? Yes sir, check. Ship 37 FTS and rollout, FTS should be installed and the rollout is scheduled for today. Full stack? Not as of releasing the episode, but that should happen today as well, if everything goes according to plan. Notice this? Check, 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 check. You get the idea. In short, almost everything is done. The only thing left to do is to wait for the launch and count the remaining days as if it were Christmas. 1, 2, 3... With a target date no earlier than Sunday the 24th, SpaceX really picked up its pace. Let's now have a look at what we can expect to see during this long-awaited test flight. Launch and descent until stage separation will look just like the last flight. After the hot stage separation, the booster will perform a controlled flip maneuver as seen on Flight 9 for the first time. The big change compared to earlier flights is a more aggressive angle of attack that ultimately saves propellants. This should potentially result in more payload capacity down the line. This is optimization work. During the booster's landing burn, SpaceX will try out a unique engine configuration to gather more important data. They'll intentionally disable one of the 3 gimbaling center engines. The test's objective is to demonstrate that a middle ring engine can be used as a backup to ensure a safe landing. A booster with 33 engines comes with a lot of redundancy. Unfortunately, we'll not see another catch attempt. Instead, the booster will aim for a virtual tower located in the Gulf, meaning that the booster will think that there is a tower out there. A successful test should end with a standstill hover above the water's surface before the engines cut off and the booster drops into the ocean. This is typical epic Starship launch action. What is really set to make heads turn is Ship 37's flight and the experiments waiting for it in space. Highlights will be the engine relights and the deployment of dummy Starlink satellites lovingly called dumplings. Something that was supposed to happen for a while now, but they've ramped up the number of satellites over time. The demo satellites are similar in size and weight to the future Starlink V3 satellites, but they have no practical use beyond testing the Pez dispenser-like deployment mechanism, including the payload door. After the coast phase, an aggressive re-entry profile will test the ship's structure and heat shield to the limit. Multiple tile prototypes have been installed, including metallic options and an actively cooled solution. In some spaces, tiles have been removed to evaluate the dangers of tile loss in certain areas. It's going to get hot. Finally, this ship prototype does feature ship-catching hardware, but for now, testing the durability of these hooks in a re-entry scenario is the sole focus. Ship 37 is not intended to return to Starbase. It will ultimately sink into the ocean, but not before delivering awesome views to marvel at. Hopefully. I will, of course, streamline this live so that we can all watch together. The stream will start 2 hours before the launch. SpaceX usually goes live 45 minutes before liftoff, so we have time to talk, do an AMA, and get the latest info before its ignition time once more. Godspeed, Booster 16 and Ship 37, we are all crossing our fingers for Team SpaceX. Yes! Yee! That's actually how I feel right now. Hit the subscribe button to stay informed. Like this video if it brought you value, and become a wise supporter for extra content. Secure your access to up to 7 picture galleries per week, satellite, helicopter and ground photos, and 3D animations. Chat with me and gain more insights on the topic you love. Finally, I'd like to give a shout out to Raptor Roost, our partner at Starbase. Flight 10 is close, and Raptor Roost is the best place out there to watch the launch. A great community, all the party fun you'd need, and a view you can't beat. Raptor Roost is on the edge of the exclusion zone and much closer than South Padre Island, for example. Go to raptor-roost.com to get your tickets now. As always, they are selling fast. Now, we talked a lot about SpaceX now, but there are others racing towards the moon. China has taken a giant leap toward lunar exploration with its very own Lanyu Lunar Lander. This month, we witnessed an impressive tethered test of the craft. This new lander is a sophisticated spacecraft designed to carry Chinese taikonauts to the moon's surface, possibly as early as 2030. And right now, it looks like they're on track. Lanyu, which translates to embracing the moon, is China's first human-rated lunar landing vehicle. It's specifically designed to transport humans safely between lunar orbit and the moon's surface. It'll serve multiple crucial functions as their habitat, power source, and command center throughout the mission. The estimated mass of the fully fueled landing segment, including both the lunar lander and propulsion stage for the ascent, is 26,000 kilograms. That's a big boy. What sets Lanyu apart from older lander designs are its advanced autonomous capabilities. This technology was sci-fi in the Apollo days. And I have something else you might find interesting. This is part 2 of my most personal sponsorship ever. What's up with my hair? You might remember my episode from March 25th, one day after my birthday this year. I talked about having traveled to Turkey and that I came back with a strange band around my head. I was sponsored by Hair. I received a hair transplant. The deal? Get the transplant and then talk about it. No rules, no limits, just say how it was. Okay, challenge accepted. Back then I was still in the healing process and I told you that I'd report about this again after it's been half a year. The transplant was done in February. Highly skilled Hair employees took hair from the back and the sides of my head and put it on top. The reason? I really didn't want to become bald. This sponsorship has generated a vast and never-ending barrage of comments over the past 6 months. You asked for it. You've definitely noticed. Shucks. In short, it couldn't have gone better. The hair is getting thicker and thicker, the baldness almost gone already, and the growth phase will go on for another full 6 months from here. Satisfaction? Through the sunroof. That's really all there is. So if you're looking at the man in the mirror and you want him to have more hair, this is what you've been looking for. Forget the magic pills. Travel to Turkey and enjoy Hair's all-inclusive service, which includes everything from plane tickets to shuttle services, hotels, treatments, and your return plane ride. Hair organizes everything. You just need to go. That's all. That hair isn't coming back on its own. If you are unhappy, step out that door and get it fixed. Now, if you're interested, click the info card or the link in the description to book your appointment for a completely free hair analysis. I've tested it. This works, it is permanent, and it will change your life as it did mine. I'll report again in another full 6 months from here. Thank you, Hair, for doing this with me. According to Wang Xiaolei of the 5th Academy of China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation, that's a long name, the Lunar Lander can automatically detect lunar surface hazards and autonomously maneuver to avoid obstacles, selecting suitable landing sites for a safe touchdown. This is a game changer for mission safety. The lander features a rather conventional 4 landing legs layout, and its overall shape reminds one of the LEN, the Apollo Lunar Excursion Module. Interestingly, the suspended LEMS test campaign back in the 1960s also looked quite similar to the recent testing of the Lunar Lander in China. What definitely was different then was the untethered flight testing and pilot training for Neil Armstrong in what was called the flying bedstand. That was the most dangerous bedstand in human history. Fortunately, the autonomous capabilities of Lunar should make this dangerous part of training redundant. While the Apollo astronauts had to wait for Apollo 15 before they could roam the moon's surface with a vehicle, Lunar includes provisions for a 4-wheeled rover mounted on its external wall right from the start of the program. The Lunar Lander will reach the moon aboard China's most powerful rocket to date, the Long March 10. This super heavy lift vehicle measures approximately 92.5 meters in height. It weighs 2,187 tons at liftoff, capable of delivering 70 tons to low Earth orbit and 27 tons to translunar injection trajectories. What you see here is footage from a test on a shortened testing first stage. The rocket's first stage is powered by 7 YF-100K engines burning kerosene and liquid oxygen, while 2 additional boosters, each equipped with 7 YF-100K engines, generate a combined thrust of 2,678 tons at liftoff. It's really big. That is almost SLS level. This represents approximately 3 times the capacity of China's previous most powerful rocket, the Long March 5. Long March 10's development began in 2017, and the rocket incorporates reusability features similar to SpaceX's Falcon 9. The first stage will employ grid fins and a unique tethered landing system using hooks caught by tensioned wires on the ground rather than traditional landing legs. From all we can tell, the launch vehicle's development should be advanced enough to be available for a planned uncrewed moonshot at the end of the 2020s. And a crewed flight is to follow in 2030. China's lunar missions will require 2 separate Long March 10 launches, one carrying the Mengzhou crewed spacecraft and another delivering the Lunar landing stack. After rendezvous and docking in lunar orbit, 2 taikonauts will transfer to the lander for surface operations. Current plans call for a 6-hour stay on the lunar surface, during which taikonauts will conduct scientific work and collect lunar samples. That's basically a repeat of Apollo 11. As humanity is about to venture deeper into space, the challenge of providing adequate medical care to astronauts becomes increasingly complex. I mean, once you're on your way to the Moon and Mars, hospitals tend to be terribly far away. Unfortunately, we are still quite far away from a functioning emergency medical hologram like the one from Star Trek Voyager.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
But in reality, NASA and others are very well aware of the difficulties of providing medical diagnosis and treatment on long-duration missions. So what do? Even if you can afford to have a medical officer along for such a trip, this person can only ever be an expert in some fields, but never be versed in all kinds of treatment procedures. The vast distances from Earth, limiting communication windows, and resource constraints of long-lasting space missions create a situation where calling a professional simply might take too long, especially in immediate emergency situations. And then what? While it can be expected that all astronauts on such a mission have at least a basic training in medical procedures, any extra assistance will be very welcome. Yeah, back in 2021, NASA supported research on what's called the Intelligent Crew Assistant, or IMCA for short. It's fun to work with the IMCA. Never mind. While this first part of the program ended earlier this year, the results were promising, and with new partners on board, it has now entered another phase. The ultimate goal is a practical and functional system. In this new phase, NASA partners with Google. This ambitious collaboration set out to develop artificial intelligence systems designed explicitly for space-based medical care. The microgravity environment, radiation exposure, and psychological stress of long-duration spaceflight create additional health complications that Earth-based medical professionals may not fully understand. These factors have driven the need for sophisticated autonomous medical decision support systems that can operate independently in space. At the heart of this initiative are Clinical Decision Support Systems, or CDSS. Advanced AI-powered tools designed to assist medical decision-making. But unlike traditional systems used in terrestrial hospitals, space-based versions must operate with complete autonomy, drawing from extensive medical databases while adapting to the unique physiological changes that occur in space. These advanced systems merge diverse data streams, such as real-time biometric readings, medical scans, lab results, and spacecraft environmental data. The custom AI then processes this information, comparing it against medical databases to offer diagnostic possibilities, suggest treatments, and evaluate risks. Specifically for space missions, these clinical decision support systems require exceptional reliability. Even more than back here on Earth, medical errors cannot be tolerated when the next hospital is millions of kilometers away and every crew member is needed. IMCA is evolving into an AI-powered virtual medical officer designed specifically for spaceflight scenarios. It represents a significant advancement beyond traditional CDSS, functioning as an interactive medical companion that can guide astronauts through complex medical procedures. Just like Voyager's doctor, unfortunately without the holographic part, at least for now. And please give it better bedside manners. The assistant is designed to maintain detailed medical records for each crew member, tracking long-term health trends that might indicate developing problems. This collaboration between Google and NASA extends beyond immediate space applications. The AI medical systems being developed could revolutionize healthcare in remote locations here on Earth, from research stations in Antarctica to rural communities with limited medical access. Another very useful application for such a technology lies in disaster scenarios where traditional medical infrastructure is compromised and doctors are facing an overwhelming number of patients. On December 1st, 2023, Ireland made space history when AirSat-1, the country's first satellite, successfully launched aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. It may just be a tiny 2-unit CubeSat, but it marked Ireland's official entry into the global space community. Sometimes great things come in small packages, and this is certainly true for AirSat-1. Because the satellite successfully tested an advanced onboard control system, wave-based control, which enables precise orientation in space. For the last 2 years, the team collected data on the satellite's movements using its onboard sensors. By design, this CubeSat repositions itself using electromagnets that interact with Earth's magnetic field. No gyros. This method is dependable and energy efficient, but it's not precise enough for fine-tuned satellite pointing. To overcome this challenge, the IRSat-1 team collaborated with Carnegie Mellon University in the United States. And this collaboration resulted in a new control algorithm that was recently tested successfully. In a first step, the satellite starts rotating around one of its main axes. This stabilizes the satellite in much the same way that keeps a spinning top upright. Only after the stability is achieved will it gradually reorient itself until the desired direction is attained. 3-orbit testing confirmed the satellite's ability to achieve rotational stability and maintain pointing precision within a few degrees. The system operates as intended, automatically pausing its orientation adjustments during expected blackout periods caused by Earth's shadow or unfavorable alignments between solar and magnetic field conditions that affect sensor performance. This successful test is a major leap forward for the team's research into satellite autonomy and onboard intelligence. Originally developed under the European Space Agency's Fly Your Satellite educational program, IRSat-1 is a remarkable achievement of students and researchers at the University College of Dublin. What began as just a proposal to ESA in March 2017 evolved into a 6-year journey involving over 60 students and early career researchers. Now nearing the end of its operational life after nearly 2 years in orbit, IRSat-1 has successfully demonstrated that university-led satellite missions can achieve professional standards while fostering the next generation of space professionals. The mission has already inspired follow-up projects, including ComCube-S, another ESA-funded initiative to deploy a swarm of satellites for enhanced gamma-ray burst detection. Big things can come in small packages. Isn't it amazing that with today's massively reduced launch costs, students can learn satellite construction hands-on and see the fruit of their work actually going to space? That's it for today. Smash that like button, subscribe for more. This is what fuels the algorithm, and this is how you can help us for free. Check out our epic shirts in your favorite Space Nerd store. Lots of designs by me and other spaceflight artists. Link is in the description and in the card you should see now. And if you want to learn more about how AI might be the first to put a footprint on Mars, watch this video next to continue your journey. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next episode. That sounds so wrong. Yeah, what are we waiting for? Let me do the entire thing again. Cryogenic proof testing. Yes! I've done it!